Alan, thank you for joining us here today.
Phil,
Dom set us up perfectly talking about you've got defense, you've got trade issues, you've got air traffic control. You guys touch on all of that. Give me some perspective in terms of the defense side of the business. Some would say we're sort of towards the beginning here. You noticed an increase once the Ukraine war started. How much does what's happening in the Middle East energize governments and contractors to say we need to do even more?
Yeah, well, I think it's the overall geopolitical context, starting with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But, I think further exacerbated, when the U.S. administration took over, I think Europe became more inclined to want to continue to grow their investments in defense. And I think just the overall geopolitical landscape, including what's recently happening in the Middle East, has just created an environment where nations need to invest to defend themselves. And I think we're seeing that globally, not just here in Europe or in the United States.
Does the growing use of drones, both as a threat and counter-threat, change the perspective that you have and your company have in terms of future opportunities?
Not for us. As a company that puts sensors and communications and stuff on platforms, we don't care if it's a drone or an aircraft or a land vehicle or an unmanned maritime vehicle or manned. What's important for us is we're in the business of gathering information and helping decision makers make important decisions. So certainly there's going to be a proliferation of unmanned vehicles. We believe we're well positioned to be one of those that is providing the latest technology to augment those platforms, including introducing technologies like AI that will really kind of exponentially increase their performance.
How much do the trade wars that are going on right now, and there's still a lot of uncertainty between the U.S. and the EU, how much does that impact what you're doing in terms of managing your margins? Because you can't pass it all along to the customer, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Fortunately for Thales, half of our business is in defense, half in civil, most of it outside of places like the United States. So we're largely able to mitigate the effects of the tariffs. Certainly for our business in the U.S., it has adverse impact. We're taking a lot of mitigating steps to minimize it. I think what's most important, Phil, is that we get some stability. What is the trade situation going to be? What are the tariff levels going to be? And then companies like Thales can make educated decisions on what we do with our supply chain activity. I think that's what's most required.
A lot of people don't realize that you guys have long been doing a lot of work when it comes to air traffic control management.
For sure.
And the efforts, and we're going to be talking with Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy a little bit later on. He wants to make a lot of changes and make them very quickly, and he wants Congress to write them at least a sizable down payment check. Are you optimistic these changes get made?
I am optimistic. One, because I think they're long overdue. I think we completely applaud the administration and Secretary Duffy in particular for these very, I think, strong actions to put forth an aggressive but achievable plan to upgrade and modernize the ATC system. I think it has a lot of momentum with the U.S. Congress. I think it will pass at least, I'd say, a significant down payment.
And when do we see some of these changes actually kick in? 3 years, 4 years from now, or sooner?
I think the plan is for a 3-year rollout. I think many of the changes can be starting to roll out much sooner. I think if we embrace technologies that are state-of-the-art and available today, and we'd like to think we offer some of those capabilities, then I think the FAA can move quite quickly to deploy new technology.